No.
Can you stretch on?
Man, my cord, my little power cord came out. And had to bend down. Had to bend down.
It's not the bending down, it's the getting back up.
Yeah. It's the getting back up. Got that right. Now, who did I send these show notes to? That one. All righty. All righty. You sent your links?
Career, pull them up now. All right. One more. Let's see. Almost done.
Yeah, we got a new little layout situation going on Riverside. I'm trying to check this situation out.
All right, we good. They all posted.
Yeah. We done got wilder and liver as we get on this May 27th edition of NOJASS Live. That stands for Not Just Another Sports Show. Hold on, let me get myself together because man, let me tell you, a lot of things going on this new day. I probably should have gave myself a practice run. I'm gonna navigate. I am going to navigate. Most definitely. Open up the chat. The chat, let everybody know you are now live at 10 a.m. 10 p.m. on the No Jazz Show. That stands for Not Just Another Sports Show. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am your host, KD. And of course, am I on your right or left?
You on my left.
Okay, that's how it is when you look at the screen. So,
yeah.
On my left, we have my boy.
Welcome to tonight's show, people. Welcome to tonight's show. We got a lot of good stuff for you. We're going to have some fun. We're going to kick back and relax on this happy hump day.
On this happy Wednesday edition. And let me let everybody know where you can find us. You can find us at No Jazz Show, NOJASS, on YouTube. Make sure when you go on there, go in on that to see us live. Make sure you subscribe. And also, you can find us in the locker room at that link. And also, you can find us on RUSSELLTANKER. That's Russell Tanker. That's his page on Facebook. You can also find us live on the link on my Facebook Live, DUPONT NIVEKZ. Or is the Z coming second? I always don't know how I spell my name, trying to be fictitious and incognito. I've done certain things to myself, but that's just the way it is. And we're live on Twitch. You can also find us on Instagram at No Jazz Show. The No Jazz Show. Live on, not live, but we're also on X. Some of you all know that as Twitter. We're also on Riverside.fm live. A lot of people come in to chat on that live, as well as TikTok. We're gonna get into TikTok. We got a friend, your friend, my friend, doing a little something on TikTok, being a little extra. We're gonna get into that. But before we get into that, we just want to make sure you are aware that you can find us on between 10 and 10:15 every week, live on the No Jazz Show at all of the places that we said you can find us live, as well as. But before I get into that, I just want to say one thing. We want to send from the production team, from the studio, from my family to yours. I want to send my condolences out to my right hand man Tank, as he gained another angel, family member. Send our condolences out to you, your kids, your family, and everybody, as you all are in this time of grieving and mourning. I know it's a situation, you know what I'm saying? I can empathize with you because I too have lost a family member. Not one as close as yours as far as your cherish is concerned, but we want to thank that, and we want to thank you for being strong and coming out to be with us after a week of that, man. So I just want to send that out on behalf of No Jazz Show and the team to you, my friend. Let you know we think about you and praying about you, buddy.
I appreciate it.
All of those good things. Now, as we move along, we want to make sure you all know and are aware of our sponsors. LYTESNACK, lightsnack.com, for all of your food delivery needs. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Make sure you order from Light Snack. And when you order from Light Snack, make sure you order those Magic City wings from Light Snack. And don't forget their motto. Don't forget to lick the sauce. And also, for all of your lingerie needs in the summertime, loungewear, any type of wear for you ladies, make sure you visit the QUIKVISITS, quickvisits.com, for all of those needs. And to go with your outfit, make sure if your hair is done and you want your hair done, you need your hair to look great, make sure you go to Bliss Brazilian. That's BLISS Brazilian.com for all of those hair care needs. And for all of your food, lunch, dinner needs, anytime you go out with a group, anytime you want to pay for something, anytime you want to go Dutch with a young lady and do all those things, make sure you visit vaultaquaticflow.com, where you can find the plug card for all of your receipt and specialized order and separate check needs. Make sure you visit vaultaquaticflow.com for all of those things. Now, I want to start this off by congratulating the New York Knickerbockers. Let me cheer for them. Yeah. All those guys over there in New York, in the city of New York, we want to congratulate you on your first finals appearance since 1999. And I know a lot of you all are making a joke out of this because of the fact that people are saying that they made it to a conference final and an NBA finals before. Let me just sneak this in there. The hardest championship to win in major sports is the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But they did make it before my Dallas Cowboys. They made it before a lot of teams, but the Dallas Cowboys are the main ones that a lot of people are wanting to talk about. So I'm gonna give you a little props, whatever. But that was a great sweep of the Cleveland Cavaliers, and I think Cleveland basketball is kind of finding out that that type of basketball that they play, 1-on-1, got to play a
Not
team
gonna
game.
get it done. Yeah.
Not gonna get it done, man. You got to get inside to that inside man. Cat was doing his thing, So definitely a tremendous feat for the New York Knicks, the team, as well as the city of New York. I do congratulate you all on your feat. We still have a series, going on between the San Antonio Spurs. Great game last night. Looked like it was about to be a comeback. Looked like I was about to say, hey, Tank, are you ready, man? It's about to be a blowout. Go ahead and log in.
Yeah,
And
not so fast.
Not so fast. They brought it back a little bit, then they stretched it out again. So those OKC Thunder guys, man, they play a very good game of basketball. I actually do not want to see a repeat finals of the San Antonio Spurs and New York Knicks. I would rather see, even though it's the same color scheme of both teams.
Yeah.
I would rather see the OKC Thunder repeat as the Western Conference Finals or the Western Conference champion to represent in the finals. That's something I'd rather see. Tank, I know you're not too much of a basketball guy, but do you have a preference in this fight?
I think if anytime the city of New York has a sports team in the final or in a championship, I think it's good, not just for the city, obviously, but also for the sport itself. It's New York is one of those
markets,
beaming lights or whatever markets that when the team does well, it's good for, like I said, the city and also for the arena, because I don't think that, the people really care in general. They might like the Thunder, but do they really care about Oklahoma City itself? How many people are really tuning in or just getting gung-ho on going to see something happening in Oklahoma City as opposed to going to New York and seeing it? So I think that it has that kind of panache show for New York. I think for the game itself, I think it would be good if New York does pull it off. Now, my question is, how many people really had New York to win or possibly win this thing when the season got started?
You know what? Based upon last season's success, they did get a lot of preseason and off-season and early season predictions that they would make it back to this point. I believe it was Indiana who surprised them. I'm not sure. Correct me in the chat if I'm wrong. By advancing, and then of course they suffered through a lot of injuries this year, and that team kind of got dismantled a little bit, which took them out of the running this season. However, a lot of people were on New York to be favored, especially around it started kind of looking real January, February, that they would be making their way. Now I will say this, and we don't want to bring up the past, but Atlanta, those Hawks, they give them a scare.
Yeah.
And when they went down 2-0 to the Hawks, and it looked like not this again, but they prevailed, and they did their due diligence, locked in, and have not won since they lost that second game to Atlanta. Have not lost in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So they definitely did pretty well as far as that is concerned. But I always like to look at markets. Going back to that just a bit.
Yeah.
Oklahoma is pretty much Oklahoma City. That's pretty much the Thunder's town.
Thunders, yeah.
Now, a lot of people I know I'm not wrong when I say this, will make the New York Knicks their #1 sports franchise in New York. But we all know it's the Yankees.
Yeah.
Hands down, it's the Yankees.
It's the Yankees.
I think it would be just as large a spectacle if the Jets were to find their way.
Oh, that would be crazy. Those folks would lose their minds, and you would find Jets fans will be coming out of the woodworks and saying, "Hey, it took us 55 years, but we finally got there."
Exactly.
So, yeah.
And the Giants are always, they're a little bit more comfortable and used to the Giants making it, but I always kind of put the Giants, I mean not the Giants, but the Jets and the Brooklyn Nets. No, excuse me, the Mets.
And the Brooklyn Nets. You forget about
on
the Mets.
Yeah. You forget about the Mets. They go crazy when the Mets get in there.
Yeah.
But they're kind of like on the tier of the Brooklyn Nets, because we're going to be happy for our city if they make it in. But it's still not the Yankees. It's still not the Knicks. It's still
it's like
not.
You're the other team in New York.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
In the state of New
You're
York.
just going to give us New York bragging rights to other cities.
Yeah.
But internally, those three are our guys.
Yeah, and as far as for the state itself, it's just like the Buffalo Bills.
Bills are kind of
Yeah, it's in the state of New York, but y'all are up there. Y'all are more y'all closer to Canada than you are to the rest of the state of New York. So they're kind of like
they're almost like a little stepchild.
Yeah.
In that sense, they definitely have that. So you know what, man? We're going to get back to New York. There's a lot of things going on in New York.
Yeah, New York, as they say.
New York. and I will say this: the Knicks winning did kind of, or getting to the finals, did kind of take the. You know what? Bump it. Let's do it. It kind of took a lot of the light off of the situation that happened in New York, which is what I'm about to get into now. Jackson Dart. Was it a Republican rally or just just a?
I don't even know. It was a rally. I believe it had to be a Republican rally.
Some kind of GOP rally, right? Where Jackson Dart introduced President Trump, and it caused a stir in the news. And
in the locker room.
Well, there was a remark.
Remark. Yeah.
There was a remark. I believe it was in the form of a tweet.
Yeah.
By the linebacker, second-year linebacker, and he just said, "Man, I thought this was AI," and he wasn't too particular about his teammate performing his civilian right to introduce President Trump. Very controversial move on his part that a lot of people made bigger than what it was.
Yeah, it makes you look at Dart differently. And I'm sure Abdul Carter was probably like, "Man, I didn't know," or "I'm shocked by when he said I thought it was AI." He's probably looking at and thinking about their interactions they've had over since they were both first-round draft picks last year. Probably looking at their interactions they've had since they became teammates, and was probably like, "Hey, I would have never thought this. I would have never." He didn't give me any signs that he leaned that way as far as his political affiliation. So I think that's probably what he really meant by I thought this was AI. Because there's sometimes there are things about people that you have no clue about, and they either hid it or the opportunity never presented itself for them to show that. So a lot of times, if that opportunity never arises, of course you won't know that, because that person outside of that, which for this is you could say it's a big thing, but outside of that, you can say, hey, he's cool. I don't have any issue with him. But then you see that, and it's interesting now because this political climate that we have, and just not just politically, but just in general in this country, there used to be a time when, regardless of what party you were with, you could agree to disagree and not like the person's, well, I don't like these ideals of your party compared to mine. He said, well, I don't like yours because of this and because of that. And you can have a good discussion or a good debate. And in the end, it's like, okay, well, I still think you're wrong. Well, I don't agree with you either, but you were cordial and you still can actually be friends and get along. But now, because
did that really happen, or are we assuming that happened because we didn't have social media to now expose that? Like social media has become the be all end all of what we thought things once were, and we see that even in how we've gone to grammar school and high school with people that we know who have become adults, and they become affiliated with a certain party. And now, just because you're affiliated with a certain party, um, you must fall in line with some level of racial bias.
Yeah,
You know,
I think social media has helped, like you said, has helped to see it more. But I think also there were people. I think also it was like that where people did get along and agree to disagree, because you didn't have a whole lot as far as coverage or anything as far as political violence and just the vile venom that's spewed that we have now. I mean, think about it, until this current administration came up, you didn't have political parties on TV, on CNN or whatever, cussing up a storm. Talk about, it was a certain class and dignity that both sides would have as far as the way they express themselves. They, now we got a
but
guy
that's
who
C-SPAN. C-SPAN, if you watch C-SPAN, it did kind of show childish behaviors
mm,
of political professionals on both
yeah,
sides. And if you ever really watch C-SPAN, you can see them going back and forth even years before social media.
but I mean
I think
it's commonplace now. I mean,
right.
it's like, hey, somebody they'll drop an F bomb in a minute, and this that and before there was a certain decorum that people would, Obama and McCain, they went at it heavily, but neither one of them would cuss the other out or were doing. They both exhibited class and respect for one another. And McCain actually said, when someone tried to heckle or say something about Obama, he said, "No, we're not doing that. He's a decent man. We both want the same thing. We just have different philosophies. But you would not say that about he's a decent man." And the fact that when he died, he wanted Obama to give his eulogy. I mean, can you? And so now people look at it. If you are, how can I say? I want to say Republican, but if you are MAGA, because I think, but it's crazy. Yeah, it's almost like MAGA is Hydra inside of the Republican Party, because it's like there's a distinction still between a person that's a Republican, person says I'm a Republican, but I'm not a MAGA Republican. And you
Most
remember how,
definitely.
yeah, you've been high in
Now, on the other
Marvel,
side
you
of that,
got, yeah,
if I'm a liberal Democrat,
mm-hmm,
Republican or not, I'm also assumed MAGA.
yeah. And
You know, so
I just think that it's gotten, it's out of hand. But anyway, with Dart, I understand how it could be an issue. Then people will look at, oh well, he is from Utah and he did go to Ole Miss, so now that's come out. And I just think that because of what goes along with supporting Trump or appearing to support him, you just automatically assume that a person who doesn't have your same complexion exudes or believes and embraces all of those other values that we don't want.
Absolutely.
Generally, you don't want people to do to exalt. So I think it's going to could definitely cause a problem in the locker room. And I do think, and as soon as I saw it, I couldn't help but to think about Any Given Sunday when Steaming Willie Beamen was getting lit up in the game and Cap Rooney said, "They won't block for him, Tony. They won't block for him." And he goes, "Let him learn." He kept getting knocked out. He kept getting sacked because the lineman was like, "Yeah, where's your invisible juice now, Willie?" And I would not be surprised if a couple of times somebody didn't go all out to, they might fan block instead of laying the wood, pancaking the guy, just so he would say, "Hey man, we are a team, we are a family. We can't have dissension like this because I don't know what you will or won't do, or you're going to do the same for me."
You think they would do that based on a political?
There's some people who might not go as hard if the game's on the line, they're gonna do it. But I think, hey man, I don't have a problem with him getting sacked on 3rd and long in the second quarter when we down 3-0.
He's about 50-50. That his offensive line is about 50-50. I think he has 2 African Americans and a Hispanic, Latino American.
Yeah.
And what seemed to be Anglo-Saxon white American.
Yeah.
The thing that I differentiate from that parallel in regards to whether someone would actually stoop to that level of
I don't think they're gonna throw a game or anything like that, but they might.
Well, I mean, just let somebody through to get it. And going back to what you said, these are personality traits. Because over here on my left, I live in a bubble, or there's a bubble where they say, okay, since they're Republican, I have the right to speak to them a certain way because I know these people behind me are going to put a battery in my back on social media and rah and root me on. And then you got the other side who says, okay, well, if you're going to do me like that, I'm going to meet you with that same energy. See, these are individual personality traits coming out that is causing the friction to go beyond the decorum that you should have as an individual that McCain and Obama had. Even though we're on different sides, I still respect you as a person, a gentleman, and a fellow politician, to respect you as a human, not to speak to you that way. Social media has come in and allowed a lot of these people to give you their sisterhood, give you their womanhood, give you their Southern red state ideology, and it comes far beyond the level of professionalism. Now, moving into the locker room, it's probably still 76%, 78% African American. And the thing about that is these guys have a higher level of economics that, regardless of how they feel about what their politics is from where they come from, economically, they may change their outlook based on their paycheck. So I can't assume that the white guy's going to be Republican Mecca, just like I can't assume that the black guy's going to be liberal Democrat. I just can't, because of where they are financially. Yeah. So I personally can't make that parallel that someone would just let somebody through. If that happened, I believe, and it was that level of friction in the locker room, even with Abdul Carter, I believe it still goes back to the same old-fashioned thing that happened in the locker room. You did something to me wrong in this locker room that made me feel some kind of way about you. Had nothing to do with politics. And then the outsiders are going to make it like that rather than what's really going on the inside. That's just how it is to me. The same way it was with Willie Beamen.
Yeah, I think that I think professionalism will carry on. Say, I still have a job to do, but there might be some times where there are some times possibly that a guy might give 95% instead of 100% in a certain situation. It's like, or because hey man, I just don't like the way that your politics, from what I'm seeing and what I believe, views me. So, but I think that guys will be professional enough to, because you still got a job to do, and if you don't do your job well, you can wind up being gone and not him, because he, at this point, he is the franchise. He's the guy that you're building everything around.
Right.
And I do think that it's sad that, but sports and politics has always been intertwined one way or the other. But I think that it's sad that it's gotten to the point where who you're backing really carries over and bleeds over the way it does, and can really cause some friction. It's just like politics, people who wanted to kneel when Kaepernick was kneeling, and people who didn't, and how it was taken. So I mean, and the thing about it, and yes, I believe if you have a platform, I don't have a problem with you using it to better things. But at the same time, you do have a job to do, and if it's gonna affect not just the team, but it's gonna affect the bottom line, like the owners' pockets, there's gonna be, there'll be an issue. But Harbaugh in the
What do you think
past
about the people that are paralleling the Kaepernick situation to the Dart situation?
I think it's a little different, but
I do too.
But I mean, hopefully they can get by. I'm not a Giants fan, so if it's something that disrupts them and they don't do well, it don't bother me.
That don't bother me. It definitely does not bother me coming out of the NFC East.
Yeah, and
I hope there is some friction.
Yeah, yeah, but I think that. Yeah, but I'm one of those people who, I think it was Ptolemy. It was one of the Greek philosophers who said, "I may not agree with your thoughts or what you want to say, but I'll defend to the death your right to say it." And that's what it comes in, as far as him or other athletes or people with platforms coming out and speaking in favor of or against whatever's going on in society, not just politically, but other things also. I mean, he has the right to support who he wants to support. You can't say, oh, just like we have the right to not care for who he wants to support, and we have an opinion. But when it comes down to doing our job, we got to put that aside, and we got to come and go, and that's winning the Super Bowl. Maybe I can't stand you, but that's what we need to do.
I think another thing, going down this rabbit hole, because it just has so many, it just has so many pockets, is the cultural aspect that convolutes the whole situation. And I think as I speak on this, I just want to say, a lot of people do not understand the power shift culturally that goes on in NBA locker rooms, NFL locker rooms, when you have a majority Black, African American, whichever one you choose to call yourself, players in the locker room. The music that's chosen is probably more than likely going to be African American.
Yeah.
The culture, even with the leaders of the team that may be white American, they are going to gravitate towards the culture of Black, because that's what's going on in there. You can actually hear white guys get away with it. I won't say the N-word, but white guys get away with cultural vernacular in the locker room, because they are communicating with other African American players, and they tend to get that flavor. Now, what a lot of Blacks do is we will assume, because they do the latest dance and they listen to the certain music, they are on our side. And when they get in the group, that's not how they are. That's just within that area. So when you go out, Plies, and you go out and assume that someone is oh, they're using our culture, they're being culture vultures, and they're doing all this. Like, these guys have been since youth football in a predominantly Black cultured environment, you know, so they're going to be used to it. Hip hop culture is very extremely influential, even outside of sport.
Yeah, worldwide.
I cannot assume because they dance to a certain music, they're going to vote how I vote. You know, it's ludicrous. I just said two rappers. It's ludicrous to even believe that that could be the case.
Yeah, because you can like something and not be for that group that thing comes from.
That's just the environment we're in.
Yeah, like when we were growing up, I mean, you could be into there was certain rock groups or sometimes an occasional heavy metal group that you listen to or that you like some of the stuff they heard, but you weren't embedded in that culture. But you like, yeah, I could deal with some Twisted Sister. I can deal with Bon Jovi, you know, but it wasn't that you were all into that. But hey, they got some stuff that I like. I like a couple of things from Kiss. I like Highway to Hell, but I'm not a metalhead. Yeah, I'm not a metalhead.
I like Aerosmith.
Yeah.
But I'm almost certain internally in their own environment, they did not embrace everything I would embrace and my family would embrace and my culture would embrace as far as social and political ideology. Even even Eazy-E said, hey, you know, they smashing our CDs. They're disrespecting us. No. They bought those CDs. They can do whatever they want.
Do what they want to with them. Right.
And then he ends up in the White House with Ronald Reagan and the guy in his group for whom he was there when he said they could do whatever they want to those CDs, dissed him about going to that White House. So all of these things get convoluted in the conversation of the assumption that someone thinks like you, votes like you, because the girl
they like some things that you into.
You're gonna see them wear a diamond chain. They're gonna do that dance that you do. Oh, okay, you're one of us, and you start inviting everybody to the barbecue.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of people barbecue, a lot of people grill, a lot of people don't use sauce, a lot of people do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so we can't be out here assuming.
Right.
You know, but there are a lot of people. There are a lot of people that follow. There are a lot of people that follow a lot of people who think like that. So when they say those things, they're going to trigger that demographic, and they're going to agree with them and disagree with, you know, my take on it. But you know, I can filter it out.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, my last thing on that. I think as far as Dart and Carter, I think hopefully it's something that they can hash out, and hopefully it's something that their locker room, the team in general, can hash out and stay focused on the fact that they're trying to win a Super Bowl and not let perceived political differences rupture the team. And because they still have a job to do. And if you aren't professional enough and can't do your job because this guy has a certain political view, you know, maybe they're more willing to move on from you as opposed to because you're a professional, you're getting paid.
You and they were the quarterback.
Yeah, you get paid, so you need to do your job. You don't have to do anything with them outside of the confines of the team. You don't have to hang out with them after the game is over. You don't have to go over to his house and play cards on Tuesday night. You don't have to do film study. You don't have to do anything with him that's outside of the parameters of the team in the facility or on Sundays. So, I mean, it's something they're going to have to figure out, and it's something that a lot of other teams are going to find themselves having to figure out because people will start making it known what they're into or not into. because hey, Dart, he did it. He's on his second year pro. I've been in the league 8 years, and hey, I like the red hat, so I'm gonna let them know that I like the red hat too. But I'm still a part of this team, so those are some things they're gonna have to work out.
And most definitely, and the last thing I'm gonna say about that is, if said player doesn't start getting the targets and the passes that he wants, or the running back don't get the touches he wants, or the offense is messing up and it's due to Dart and it's just football, there might be a little snap that come out. Hey man, if you weren't paying so much attention to if you paid more attention to the film instead of paying more attention to going out trying to be a politician with Trump, you might be able to make those passes. You know, that stuff might come out.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
You know, it's just what it is. You know, now moving along, as we are live on this show, make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and let us know what we're doing and things that you may have some suggestions that we need to do. Please make sure you like, subscribe, and comment on No Jazz Show on YouTube and Riverside.fm in the chat right now, as well as Twitch. Now we're gonna move on. Your boy Antonio Brown was found live on Twitter.
TikTok too.
I mean TikTok. Yeah, you know what? He was on TikTok, but I saw the video on.
He all over the place. He all over the place.
He all over the place. The feed is going.
Literally.
He was definitely under the influence, doing little gyrations, sweating a lot.
Calling out players, talking about who he was better than. You can't compare me to.
He wasn't wrong in a lot of those, but you know, it was the influence he was under while he was saying it.
Yeah,
you know, that set people off. You know, so what do you think about your boy doing that?
Man, I'm not conflicted, but I try to separate AB from Antonio Brown, the wide receiver who was the best in the league when he was in Pittsburgh. I try to, when people discuss things about him as far as a player, I keep it what he did on the field when he was in Pittsburgh. Because after he left Pittsburgh, he didn't do much. I mean, he did a few things in Tampa, but you didn't get anywhere near the best of him like they did in Pittsburgh. You didn't get the best from him. But I do think that he is in need of some help.
Definitely.
Maybe some therapy, maybe some antipsychotic meds, maybe just somebody to talk to. But he needs something because he's spiraling. And a lot of people always want to say, yes, it's when Burfict hit him, that's when he went crazy. And I'm like, no, because he kept playing ball and wasn't causing issues after they hit. That's just it just looks good to say, yeah, it was that hit that did it. Huh?
Maybe his bell's still wrong.
Yeah, it's possible. But I do think that there's gonna be, but at the same time, if you listen to AB when he was still Antonio, you could tell that he wasn't. I got to figure out how to say this because next thing you know, he might be coming out to us. But I don't think that he. Let's put it this way: I don't think he was the most intelligent guy off the football field.
Oh,
okay. And when you listen to him speak, not just now, but even then, he wasn't. I mean, football wise, yes, but in his regular life and in just being able to do and conduct himself and have conversations, meaningful conversations about any different things outside of him on the football field, he's not there. And it also makes you wonder, okay, was he only eligible in school because he was able to play ball? Because he went to a prep school after, what they call it, prep school after high school to get his GPA up and to get his grades up. After high school 1 year, it was a school in North Carolina. A friend of mine coached there. he was gone when he got there, and then he went to Central Michigan. So I think that also plays in a lot, because anytime you listen to AB talk, a lot of time, if it's not strictly football, you need to decipher it, because what the hell are you talking about? And I do think that there's some hints.
He's like a boxer in the 70s and the 80s. You know, I got a word for him. It's very Spinksish.
Yeah.
Very Spinksish.
Yeah. How you spell phone? E-I-E-I-O. How you think you spell it?
Yeah. It's very Spinksish.
Yeah.
A lot of y'all might not know what Spinksish is, but you know, if you are a Generation Xer and you had to watch boxing on ABC's Wild World of Sport, you know what Spinksish is.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what Spinksish is. Very Holmesish. Very Holmesish. A little Buster Douglas.
Yeah. But I do think that I think he's one of those people. Yeah. I do think that AB happens to be one of those guys, and Tyson in his youth also needs a handler. There's some guys, they need a handler. I mean, it's for whatever reason, and maybe they're on the spectrum. Maybe they just aren't bright, and it's just because they choose to be that way, or maybe they emotionally unstable or whatever. But he's one of those people who needs a handler, and he's not in the financial bracket to really be able to afford one now. But I don't think, but yeah, he needs a handler. He needs someone to tell him, and he needs somebody, a friend, who would tell him, look, man, you don't need to do that. That's wrong. You don't need to do that. You got one more shot at this. I mean, you're coming up. You should be a first ballot Hall of Famer, but because of all this other stuff that you've done and that you keep doing that has nothing to do with football, you're going to be held out. You might end up being a senior member going into the Hall of Fame, as opposed to going in your first or second year eligibility. And he throws teammates under the bus one minute, and the next minute he talks about how good they were and how great they were, and he loved them. Then
that's that space.
Yeah, I think someone needs to do the same thing to him that they need to do to the orange orangutan on 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, and take his phone and not allow him to do it. The same way Kane told him, hey, no, you can't have the nuclear codes. Somebody needs to tell AB, no, you can't have social media, because he doesn't,
or handle it for him.
Yeah. He might have he probably got I wouldn't be surprised he got CTE, but at the same time, it's not as if he was one of those guys who went across the middle and was getting banged on every play. He's more on the outside. Now, if Michael Irvin was to come out, we find out that he has CTE, I could understand it, because he made his whole career, he's living off of that bang 88 after that bang 8. So, he was going across the middle and getting level. So, but I just think that AB needs a handler, and he also needs some help.
What I think he has beyond CTE, because I guess we really can't study that until you can test his brain after he passes on. But he definitely suffers from CTS, and that's can't take the spotlight.
Yeah.
And I will say this about him. aside from the speech, aside from how he is on camera, personality, his decorum when he is in front of people, I will give him this. He has a chip on his shoulder. Buddy is very talented. He was a very talented guy coming out of New Orleans. Talented. Had to go to Central Michigan, probably due to an attitude, probably due to grades, whatever the case may be. Only my people in Dade County will be able to correct me on that. But that puts you a chip on your shoulder. You then you get picked later than you think you should get picked. Then you end up better than all those people. I have seen, especially wide receivers who are natural divas.
Yeah.
People have that level of attitude. He did present it on the field, and then when he presented it on the field and showed you the talent that he was, and he was definitely and arguably for 3 years on top of the game amongst people who should have been on top of the game. He was
Yeah.
His name is in the argument. And so that level of an attitude to go along with all the things that we said previously about him can stir him up, you know. What he's going to have to do, going back to what you're saying as far as the Hall of Fame is concerned, and now I'm kind of looking at this differently. First ballot, second ballot, third ballot. He's not going on any ballot until the NFL knows he can get up on that podium and speak about his career and speak about all that's going on and do it with a level of maturity,
right,
for the 45 minutes or whatever time frame they give them, and they know he won't go do anything crazy. Or if he gets in, he may have to go out and do, and T.O. did his for different reasons.
Yeah, he might have to do that.
He might have to just kind of, be with his people and celebrate and do his speech on his own. But I don't think until they're ready for him, he may, and it's going to look like they're shunning him based upon all of his actions, which could be the case. But until he's prepared as an individual and as a human being, a mature human being, they're not going to allow him to go into the hall with the headset that he has at this point in his life.
Yeah, he might be He might be 60 years old before he gets in.
He can get it together this year.
Yeah, yeah, and hopefully he doesn't get up there. Hopefully he's not bitter all those years because he didn't ever get in, and then finally gets in, and it's like, okay, yeah, I was wrong. He should be. He should be a first ballot
Randy Moss. He didn't have off the field trouble, but Randy Moss had a very immature chip on his shoulder as well. Like, he had an attitude.
Yeah.
And when he showed you who he was talent-wise, and you got him wrong, he let you know.
Yeah.
That rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. Thank goodness his off the field issues didn't really he didn't have those to a degree. So, that did assist with him a lot. However, matured tremendously. Tremendously. I love the man. I mean, I like Randy Moss. I just thought he was just young. But I love the man that he's become. And it can happen. I think the same thing can happen for Antonio.
And also, AB, just if you looked at him, especially when he came out, and he was charismatic and he was charming, but he was also like, man, I got to just show that I can do this. But he was like the guys who talked about him talked about, hey, he was a nice guy back then, but he always had this little. I don't know, but maybe sometimes people who have some things going on upstairs, you can look at their eyes and you can see sometimes that the lights are flickering. That's what I get when I always got when I saw him.
I heard everybody was arrogant in high school. I heard he was flashy in high school then too. But he did. I remember one time early in his career when he flipped the switch and he became that guy.
Yeah.
He did an interview with Prime, and Prime said, man, I love the young man that you are. I would let you date my daughter. I don't know if Prime would say that now.
Right.
But he turned, and maybe it was perfect.
Yeah, it's like just like there was Terrell Owens, and then he became T.O. Antonio Brown became AB, and especially like Ryan Clark said it famously. When he got that deal that they were going to give Mike Wallace, and Mike Wallace turned it down and AB took it, the light went on or went off or whatever, and it was hell on wheels. Then the league paid for it.
Everybody different.
Yeah.
Even, hey, Marvin Harrison was quiet, ruthless.
Yeah. Yeah. So
silent assassin.
Yeah. So hopefully he gets it together, not just for Canton and them, but just for his life, because you just hate to see somebody end up just because they can't. Oh no,
well, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna stick with the Steelers. We're gonna stick with the Steelers a little bit because Mike McCarthy is over there now, and Rodgers has returned to seemingly and hopefully bring back that Green Bay. Oh, that 2008,
2010,
that 2010 glory of Mike McCarthy and Rodgers. What chances do you think you all have?
Overall, we without seeing them on the field, without seeing things, pieces wise, we're better than we were last year. Overall, offensively and defensively. Now, at the quarterback position, we're still better because our quarterback room was the worst in the league before Rodgers signed. Now with Rodgers, is not the worst in the league. I mean, we got a rookie in Drew Aller who's gonna probably be on the practice squad if he makes the team. We got Mason Rudolph, who I don't know. Mason, I mean, he's not a good quarterback first and foremost. But Mason probably says, "What did I ever do to the city to never even get a chance here?" Because it's like he's like a throwaway. Like, okay, we'll keep him around because he's been here, but he knows the system. But this is a whole new system again, and he's just not good. He needs to hold a clipboard for the rest of his career. He never needs to start. And with Howard from Ohio State last year, he was finally going to get a chance to show something in the preseason, but he was on IR, so we've never seen him take a professional snap in uniform in a game, not just a regular season, but in a preseason game. So it's boom or bust with Rodgers, and Rodgers has not gotten any younger. He's not gotten any faster. He's not gotten any quicker. He's going to be probably getting rid of the ball even quicker than he did last year. Only difference is there'll be a system and a coach who actually knows how to run a pro-style offense, a professional offense, as opposed to our 5 tight end loving moron Arthur Smith that we had last year. I'm not.
Oh,
wow. I'm not excited about
Did you
Rodgers
say
coming
moron,
back.
Arthur Smith, or moron?
Yep.
You said moron.
Moron.
Oh, man, I thought you said moron. Wow.
But speaking of the run, we should run more this year. But we're in a position because of our division. We got 3 new head coaches. So our chances and odds of winning the division are as good as anybody's, because we know Cincinnati, if their defense isn't better and if Joe Burrow isn't healthy, it doesn't matter. So we could go 9-8 or 10-7 and be in the same boat next year that we were in this year. So I'm not ecstatic about it at all. It just gives us a veteran who knows how to play the game and knows how to run an offense. But yeah, man, I think it's Groundhog Day again. New head coach, second year under an old quarterback, and it's in our DNA that we're gonna have a winning season. But first round of playoffs and gone.
We're around the playoff and gone. All right, now I want to move on to something that has been a fusion. It's always happened.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not gonna say it hadn't happened, but these football players, Johnny Manziel, wins. his first MMA fight. Who did he beat? Let me see who he beat. He beat a guy by the name of Bob Minery, social media personality. I'm glad they stand in their lane.
Yeah.
I saw all of the pre-fight, fiascos and all of that talk. It was pretty funny. And they definitely know how to hype that up. I need to watch and see if they are diminishing the sport of boxing with what they're doing, sport of actual prize fighting with what they're doing. But hey, social media is taking off into a new thing. All this live streaming is what it is. Those guys have a platform, more power to them. If that's where the money's going to funnel, let it funnel. But what do you think about Johnny Manziel? We're going to talk about another guy that got knocked out outside of football. That might be more your reefer.
Yeah.
What do you think about Johnny Manziel's fight?
Did you see the fight?
I did not. I saw another one.
Okay. All right. When you go on YouTube, you can look at it and see the fight. This is why I knew. This is part of the reason why Johnny Manziel didn't make it in the NFL. That dude had done shoulder work probably since high school. He got no shoulders. I mean, none. He hadn't hit the gym to do a bench press, a shoulder press. He hadn't worked delts. He hadn't worked triceps. He hadn't worked nothing, man. That Joker didn't have. He was like he was born without shoulders. And the fact that
what did Johnny Manziel say? I still won, didn't do all of that. Like he was in football.
Yeah. He beat it looked like two meth heads fighting.
Oh wow.
He beat him up, but if your opponent has no ability and you have no ability, but you have less of no ability.
A little bit more of no abilities than
that.
Okay.
Did you really win? Did you really do anything? No. If he was in there with a body instead of with a living body as opposed to a corpse, Manziel would have gotten beat up, would have got his brains beat in. I mean, it looked like two meth heads, man. Or when they show these two, how can I put this? There's a couple of videos of two what we would normally say trailer park women fighting, and they both look like they both do a lot of meth and missing teeth and all that, and they just get into it, and one of them is talking and the other one just keeps doing this, holding her by the head and just keeps hitting her. That's how it looked. It looked bad, man. It looked bad. It looked like two meth heads fighting. One could
fighting and boxing.
Yeah. So I don't think that they doing any kind of service to that genre of competition. I don't want to call it sport.
The sport, as far as the sport itself, no.
Yeah.
As far as what it generates and the attention, most definitely. Like even go ahead.
Yeah, I'm not even sure how much it generated, but it puts me in the mind. Do you remember when T.O. was playing in that fan control football league a few years ago?
Right.
Yeah, it looked.
Right.
Yeah, it looks like that kind of mess.
And but what I did see was I saw Ray J get that knot on his head. But the most fascinating thing was him trying to make us believe, but it went off the script.
Yeah,
when he popped him, I thought that was hilarious. I was like, okay, if you get beat, I think his name was Ben the Don. Just like Ben the Don said, oh, okay, I get what you're doing. You're trying to act like it was something more than what it was by acting like, okay, we lost money because we were supposed to fight longer. Oh my goodness, hilarious.
When a man hits you in the nose in the button, and you do the, I can't believe you just hit me, and you falling back live in slow motion, it's bad. And besides, didn't Ray J tell us?
His one wish was he was hoping that there was a mattress.
Hit him dead on the button. And then what makes it so bad is didn't Ray J tell us in the past 2 months that he had less than a year to live and he had heart failure and all this, that, and other. So what the heck are you doing in the ring?
No. Before that, didn't Ray J tell us he rolled with the thugs at Death Row? Don't try him. And you know what? I still believe that. My thing about that is Ray J 40 now. like your 40s is some change, buddy. That's really what that is. You might have had, you might be everything you said you were in your 20s. But once you get now, 35, 40, you're reaching.
And every time someone comes up with Ray J, all you can see is that meme of Brandy doing this.
You know,
you're killing the Norwood name, son.
But he you know what? He also financially keep it up too. I give him his props on that. Cause when they down, Ray J be coming through for him. But like, it might be some off-brand stuff he have to do. But Ray J gonna pay them bills for the Norwood family too. I give him props.
That was him. That fight and that fight with Manziel, those were two of the worst exhibitions of whatever you want to call it in history. I mean, I'd rather watch Tyson knock out Spinks in 90 seconds again as opposed to that mess.
Oh yeah.
God. Yeah, they don't need to do that. They need to do something that's telling these guys, look, we're not going to allow this to happen. We just not. We're not going to allow this to even be on our platform. Put it up. No, send it out in a text message to people who want to see it. But we're not gonna allow you to be online doing this because it's ridiculous.
I hate to tell you, but they're gonna do it again. as long as Twitch and those guys come up with these beefs and animosities that are somewhat real, they're gonna do it again. Now, before we get into our next subject, I just want to let you know we are live on the No Jazz Show, NOJASS. You can find us on Instagram at the No Jazz Show, on X at NOJASS SHOW. We are live on YouTube. Please go and subscribe, like, share, comment on our YouTube channel. No Jazz Show, NOJASS SHOW. We are live on Facebook, DUPONTNIVEKZ. Live on Russell Tanker's page, RUSSELL Tanker, TANKER. Check out the links. Live in the locker room and live on our Phantom page, No Jazz Show. Please, as I stated, thank you for joining us. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and share as we move along. Now, subject that you want to talk about. Let's talk about these 8th graders redshirting. These parents are holding back. This is an old thing now. This is an old thing.
Yeah.
These parents are, because there's a young man, I think he's 14 years old. He's about 6'6", tearing up the scene. But a lot of, especially in baseball, this is common.
Yeah.
In travel baseball, you know, you hold your kid back and you allow that kid, the philosophy is you allow that kid to develop, put him behind, and it helps them develop further along, being one grade behind, rather than moving along with their class. What do you think about them doing that?
I think it's ridiculous. I mean, particularly you're gonna, and they're doing it because not just because it helps them progress. They think that it helps them progress along, but also because they're hoping now that they can get NIL deals because they'll be.
Absolutely.
And I think it's ridiculous. You telling the kid, hey, you need to keep your grades up. You need to keep your grades up to be eligible. You need to be trying to get your education. You need to go. You need to graduate. You go. Hopefully, you get a full ride, or you get accepted into somebody's school. And you know this is your education is of utmost importance. Wait a minute, son. You look like you got the potential to possibly be running a 4.4 or 4.3. You know, you're a little undersized right now, but looks like you're about to hit a growth spurt. I think we're gonna hold you back 1 year so you can so you can we can maximize this. But I'm supposed to graduate in 4 years. No, it's going to be 5 years now. I want to know, how does that work with the schools? Are you just going up to the school and telling the parents, look, I know my son got a 4.0 GPA and he's in advanced placement, but I want you to hold him back a year?
I think I think it still works the same way any other student would work, because academically you can start taking your college courses.
Yeah.
So we can still progress you. We can still keep you in that grade and progress you from an academic level and keep you in that grade. Scholars who are even outside of sports do it all the time.
Yeah.
And it works towards, their college credit. So, I mean, there's a way to maneuver around that.
But it's ridiculous, and it's ridiculous. But it also makes me look at it as, okay, if you think your child has this ability and this, that, and the other, why don't you let him compete with those who are in his class instead of holding him back so that he's a year older and what you're hoping a year faster, a year bigger, and this, that, and other, against kids who are younger than him, potentially 1 or 2 years younger than him. I think they need to do away with that. But I know in South Georgia they've been doing that with the football team for years. I don't know how prevalent it is now, but I know back when Valdosta was doing their annual pilgrimage to Mecca or to the state championship in the runnings in the top 10 in the in the national rankings, they were doing things like that. But they will also have those kids, because they will have kids who would start in high school, who were still in elementary school, practicing running the same system that they run all throughout high school, so that by the time they get to high school, the coach already knows who and what he's got coming, and they've learned the system. But I just think that it's wrong for you to hold a kid back for athletic reasons. It's not academic reasons.
For those of you on the western hemisphere of the Mason-Dixon line, Tank is saying Valdosta, Georgia.
Yeah,
we know when you say Valdosta, we know.
Yeah,
they ain't mean to interrupt you, but I just want to make sure that.
Yeah. You can look them up. They won quite a few state championships and quite a couple of national championships in football in the 80s and 90s. And fun fact, the movie Friday Night Lights, originally they were trying to decide Selinger was trying to decide who he was going to write the book on, and it was between Valdosta and Odessa Permian, and he decided to go Odessa Permian. So
did he decide that, or Texas had the money?
Well, there's a lot of money in Texas as opposed to Valdosta. But yeah, so he decided to do the book
more money than peanuts.
Yeah, but man, I can't.
You're telling the truth.
Yeah, but as a parent, I can't fathom or wrap my mind around the fact of telling my child I'm going to hold you back a year so that you'll be better in sports.
Let me tell you this: we're from that generation where, academically you stayed in your same grade, but once you played those 6 games, JV, 9th to 10th grade,
then you got moved up.
Yeah,
nothing wrong with that.
This to me assists the argument of who was better, past generations or these generations. Because if that boy was bad and he was outshining his class, we moved him up.
He would have been finished put him on the field.
First in track, 9th grade, 10th grade.
Mm-hmm.
But we moved him up to finish 4th with the juniors and seniors. See?
Yeah.
We didn't play like that in our generation.
Yeah. We thrived on competition. Yeah, we thrived on competition. Yeah, but now they're trying, and I don't believe that these high school players, and you know the trickle down. We talked about it before. I don't believe that any of them should be getting NIL money because I think you take you take the amateurism out of it, and you also take the fun out of it because you got some guys who I'm trying to be a rocket scientist. That's what I want to do. I'm just out here playing football or basketball because I like it, and I might be decent at it, but I'm not getting a scholarship. I know that, but I like the game, and hey, I am good enough to start. But I'm going to MIT because I'm going to be a rocket scientist. That's all I've ever wanted to do. Oh well, this kid has got an NIL deal, and this kid, I think he's going to go pro. So I'm even though he's not better than this kid, that's who I'm going to focus on. That's who I'm going to start. I think it takes the amateurism out of it. I think it takes the joy of playing the game just because you love it out of it. And I think it gets parents more involved and causing more problems because you see their parents in stands in high school, and they're also parents that are in stands in little league rec ball leagues who get to fighting because their kids not getting enough PT.
Oh, you know why they fighting? Because they spent all that money in AAU basketball and all that travel baseball. They spent all that money, and they spent all that money on all them trainers.
Yeah.
And they're not getting their child on the field. That's really what they're arguing about. They're arguing about the investment.
Yeah, and your son isn't good enough to be on the field, even though you've paid all this money for him in AAU and all of that. And no, they need to cut the NIL stuff in the bud. They need to nip it in the bud for those if you're not in college. And they also need to stop letting them hold these kids back. Just because if I'm holding you back, I'm supposed to graduate and go to college. Here I am. I'm a senior now, but I'm a senior late. And those friends of mine that I had, they've gone on because high school is very niche. You don't really have underclassmen that you associate with other than you see them in school and all. But as far as who you hang out with, all your friends, those are people that are actually in your class. And now your class has moved on ahead because you're still in there. And some kids, their stigma might be, wait a minute, am I stupid? Or that kid's friends or previous friends or previous classmates, you must be dumb. You got kept back.
That used to be
when we were growing up, that was the worst thing. Yeah.
That used to be how we felt.
That was the worst thing. Wait a minute.
I would really have to culture now. I would really probably have to go back or investigate the mindset. Yeah. Because that same mature kid in the 12th grade, it's hit or miss when they become a freshman, the mature level. Right. But 18 turning 19 going to college is very different. Extremely different than like I did, 17 turning 18.
Yeah, me too.
In college. It's a very just 1 year.
Yep, 1 year.
1 year.
Yeah. But yeah, I think
shout out to Florida A&M though, because
yeah, I think they need to.
Booty look good both years.
Yeah, they need to stop it though. I don't think it's good. I don't think it's good for the kid. I don't think it's good for the sport. And if the kid winds up not getting a scholarship, it doesn't get anything anyway. Now you just made them spend instead of for us it was 5 years in high school, 8 through 12. But now, if it was still 8 to 12 for high school instead of 5 years, now them spend 6 years in high school. And for what? I still didn't get a scholarship. So you just made me lose a whole year, Dad, because you wanted me to get this scholarship, get a ride.
You definitely can end up 26.
Yeah.
I doubt they do that in college now though. But like if you've been held back like that, and then you go to college and you start doing all that 5th year red shirt and then get all these medicals, and then you just sitting there getting NIL, boy, you could be eligible for the draft.
Yeah.
At 25, 26.
Yeah. Yeah, because you think about it, you do that to a kid and he doesn't get a scholarship because he's not good enough, or his grades aren't good enough, or his performance on the field isn't good enough. What do you think that does to that kid's mentality? To his
I
psyche?
don't know, because money
I mean,
involved.
yeah, and if he's not getting the money either, he's not getting. And let's say he's not getting NIL. So I spent an extra year in high school, an extra year in my 12 years. Now it's 13 years. I didn't get any NIL money in high school. I didn't get a scholarship to go play ball. So you wasted a year of my life when I could have been doing something else. I could have already been in college just trying to figure it out. But now I'm a year behind, and all of that was for nothing.
How old was Buddy that played quarterback on Wildcats?
I'm trying to remember who the quarterback was. I remember Leon was in it. Wesley Snipes was in it.
Wesley Snipes was the running back.
Yeah.
The dude that played Bubba Gump.
Yeah.
He was the one.
I think he was older than 18.
Right. Let me see. Yeah. What was his name?
You mess around your kid 18, and now all of a sudden he's 19.
He played Lee Rounder.
Yeah.
Lee Rounder now. This would have been right up his alley. Man. Yeah. Now moving right along, we're going to revisit. Speaking of amateurism and amateur sports, the topic we spoke of minimally in regards to the states that are going through the possibility or what looks to be the gerrymandering in the NAACP, looking to tell all black athletes, focusing on black athletes, I should say, to not attend major universities where states could adopt these policies. Has your thinking changed on that? Due to further details, or what seems to be the case?
I think what they need. I think they're playing short ball because I still feel that you don't put that on 18 on a 17, 18-year-old. You don't put that. But I think they don't have a plan. They haven't shown us a plan at all.
To why this would work.
Yeah, why this would work and what's the alternative? Because all colleges, HBCUs, everybody, they get federal funding. So you're gonna tell the kid, okay, I don't want you going to LSU because we know Alabama's doing it. We don't want you going to Alabama, and we don't want you going to Auburn because they're gerrymandering.
Okay, but you can go to Alabama State, go to Alabama, and that'll be cool. Yeah. But all of them get federal funding.
Yeah, so it's only taking you to go to another school, but that money and that funding is still there.
These are still the same politicians backing. Yeah,
still the same politicians backing it. Nothing changes. And for everyone who decides I'm not going to go, there's somebody else who's going to go. And not only that, that's for today. We want y'all to do it. No, the bus boycotts in the 60s, those lasted over a year. It wasn't, hey, we ain't gonna ride the bus for a month. Okay, it's month number 7. Hey, keep your behind off the bus. Okay, it's month number 10. Keep your behind off the bus, man. It's hot out here. It's hot and humid in Birmingham and Bessemer. Man, I sure do wish I could get on that bus. No, we're not getting on the bus.
Honestly, and those weren't long walks, but go ahead.
Yeah. So now, are you going to tell them, this kid, you're going to say, all right, until they change back the districting, or you going to tell these kids, all right, for the next 5 years, if that's what it takes, nobody's going into these schools. Is that your plan? Okay, what if they go to another state and all of a sudden they go into Indiana, and now Indiana decides, hey, well, we gerrymandering too. Well, okay, you need to transfer out of this school. You don't put that on those kids to do that. You need to get people out to vote. You need to get people to start voting in local elections. not just national, but in local elections. You need to write your representatives, and you need to do things to kick something in action besides telling these kids to give up your lifelong dream of going to play at this particular school. Because I would tell my child, hey, it's your decision. If you decide you don't want to go because of that, fine, I support you. If you decide you want to go, fine, I'll support you. Because what if this kid one offer was to that one school? Now you telling him go take out loans, or you finna help pay? Is the NAACP gonna help fund college for these kids who decide they aren't gonna go to certain schools and they aren't accepted, or they aren't recruited by or get offered scholarships to some of these other schools?
I don't know.
Hey, well, I want to go to Tennessee. Well, no, man, okay. Man, nobody else really offered me, because everybody who gets offers in the offer doesn't have 5, 10, 20, and 30 offers from all P5s. Some people are like, hey, well, you're a 2-star recruit. We want you here, but if you don't come here, hey, you got to go to Western Carolina. You got to go to Kansas Wesleyan. Are you going to fund that kid's college tuition? Are you going to pay for him to go to school somewhere else that he didn't want to go because you told him to turn down the free ride? I mean, they need to have they're gonna try to implement this. They need to have a whole plan drawn out showing these are all the things that we want to have done. This is why you're doing it. This is how we're gonna do. This is how we're gonna help you and assist you, and we're gonna fund your education if need be, because you turned down a $200,000 scholarship. Nobody's saying anything about what they're going to do to help these kids if they decide that they aren't going to take a $200,000 ride.
My whole thing, and I'm still sticking with my point, leave the kids out of this.
Yeah.
17, 18-year-olds do not need to be involved in 35-plus-year-old issues. But the slippery slope here is, when does it end? And what I mean by that is, okay, suppose you do come out with a plan and it solves a little gerrymandering issue. Okay, now you're mad at the DEI issue. Are you going to implement the plan again? Mm-hmm. Okay, now some cop locally has done something to someone that involves some type of social conflict. Are we going to do it again? We're going to put it on the kids again. Like, at what point do you stop using the kids to fight your battles? See, that's my thing. Every time you get mad, okay, don't go to Alabama. Don't go to University of Florida. Is that what you're going to do?
Yeah.
So that's why I say it needs to be an adult. Just like you say, go get the people out and rally to vote. Go get the people out to vote in those local elections. Go get the people out to read those bottom corners of the newspaper to find out when they're having those town hall meetings and city hall meetings, to find out the things that you could be voting on that you're not voting on. Go do all of those things. The information is out there. The conspiracy theories are out there. Use those conspiracy theories to your advantage. Let's make sure those conspiracy theories are true or not. It's a hypothetical. Yeah. Test it. That's what it's there for. But don't just get out here upset and you've done all that political science training and you've matriculated your way up through politics. And just like the people in Chicago who are fighting, I got a lot of respect for them, because they are kind of showing you, and I'm not trying to be on SAS's side, but they do bring up a valid point that a lot of these blue states and blue areas are diminishing economically, and they are expecting people to pull them up just because woe is me, instead of doing your due diligence to get out there to pull yourselves up, because you already know The other people are looking forward. They're not worrying about what's behind them. So you're going to have to do what you need to do for yourself. And again, blaming these kids or putting it on these kids to use their platform and use their futures to help you stand on your soapbox, I just don't agree with it, because I just don't know at what social political issue does it all stop. That's just me.
Yeah, and I was talking with my uncle, was it Monday, and we talking. He was one of the first black to go to University of Alabama, and he graduated from there. So, and he was also under the impression, he was like, hey, they don't need to ask these kids to do that. And he and my aunt, they brought up a good point as we were discussing. He said they both said, everyone, people like to say, well, the civil rights movement was started by 20-year-olds and college students. They were doing all that. And she said, yes, they were. And my uncle was like, yes, it was. But we were fighting for rights for things that we weren't able to do, things we couldn't do.
Exactly.
We couldn't go and we couldn't ride the bus from the bus. We couldn't go into certain places and eat. We couldn't go and buy in certain parts of town.
They had standardized tests just to vote. It was different.
Yeah, he said we were fighting and having to do these because there were things that we couldn't do that we were trying to get the right to do. These kids now have the right to do all the. Yeah, they might be trying to take things away, but at this point, they're still able to do all those things that we fought for them to be able to do. So you can't ask them to go and do the same things that we did, because it's a different time and different agendas and different things going on. There are a whole bunch of different components going on as opposed to what was going on back then. So yeah, leave the kids out of it.
Let's not forget, especially in collegiate athletics, college athletics is the outlet for a lot of these kids' problems where they are. What are you going?
Yeah.
You want that kid to stay in that situation?
Right. Just like who was it in the U documentary, 30 for 30, and they like, man, we're gonna get all these kids from inner city Miami and bring them to the U, and they were like, man, they never thought that they would be going to places like going
anywhere.
To the I was. So you telling me, well, man, Coral Gables, don't go there. Well, where am I gonna go? That only the school that want me. Where am I supposed to go? Go to Oregon. Go to the school in Oregon.
Right.
No, I'm not going.
Now my mama can't visit me.
Yeah.
Now my mama can't come to my game.
Yeah.
Same thing. University. You bring up Friday Night Lights. They played a team.
Yeah.
That was an inner city. That
right.
team in Dallas. Them boys was, hey, criminals in their environment. Football was the outlet. Darren Smith.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I understand.
I just
Darren
wish they would come. Yeah, down Jesse Armstead.
Jesse Armstead. I'm sorry. Jesse Armstead. Yeah, come on, man.
But it's just bad that they are taking really the cheap way out to try to do this. Well, we're gonna make the kids do it. If the kids don't do it, hey, man, I'm 18 years old. I just graduated. I got a full ride to the school that I always wanted to go to. And they're the only ones who came. And I waited to the last minute to pick and say that's who I wanted. I flipped my hat and said, this is where I'm going. And all them other schools, I made them look bad by letting them think they had a shot. And now, hey man, Notre Dame, I want to come up there now. Y'all think we don't have time for that.
Man.
No, we don't want you now. We already gave your scholarship to somebody.
I got to flip my hat and say, man, I'm gonna just stay home in the local area and go to the local community college, do the gerrymandering.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, man.
And I'm just gonna train here until y'all figure this out.
Man,
Absolutely not.
I wish we and then we move on. I wish when they come up with this stuff, they would come up with a concrete plan with different outcomes and things they were gonna do. because instead of just one thing and say, hey, this is what y'all need to do. Because they aren't just going somewhere else is not going to do it. The money from those schools is not going to stop because this kid doesn't go here. And another kid is going to come. And also the fact that there's basketball and there's football. The rest of these schools don't even generate revenue. So am I going to not go and play badminton for a school that don't because of this? I don't know. It's ridiculous. They need to do something about that.
Absolutely. Well, to me, this has been the No Jazz Show. Those are all of our topics, man. You know, we have moved into the 20 minutes to the midnight hour over here in my state. So I'm just going to do what I normally do at this time. Got any last words, Tank? Some finals?
Yeah. Josh Jacobs, I hope that you didn't do what you're being accused of or what they say, what you were arrested for. For those of you who don't know, Green Bay Packers running back Josh Jacobs was arrested with 5 different charges with 5 different domestic violence situations. I hope that he didn't do it, and not just because for him, but also hope for, I don't even know if it was different women or not. I hope for those women's sake that they didn't endure that as well, and that somehow it was a dispute and they got mad and they made up something. Because that way neither one of them actually endured that. Because I hate to think that he's choking women out, and I hate to think that these women are getting choked out. So I would hope that it's something else. But I don't know if he's going to end up on the commissioner's exempt list, or the Packers are going to put the hammer down, or what. I don't know, because something's coming down the pike, and that they can prove, that they can hurry up and show, hey, all 5 of these are false charges. But you got to do something better, man. You got, fellas, if it gets to an argument, just walk out, just leave, just walk out, calm down, and then come back. Because the minute you raise your hands up and they scream, it's a wrap. Because particularly for these athletes, you're a big muscle-bound athlete, and you threatened, not even if you didn't touch, but you threatened this young innocent little woman, because that's how it's portrayed, and she was in fear for her life. You're in trouble. You're gonna be in trouble. And the NFL is riding a high, and they don't want or need you doing anything to tarnish the shield, because they're setting record numbers now in revenue and everything else, and they're expanding. Now they got what, nine international games. Yep. Yeah, they're trying to go globally permanently. So they don't need you doing anything to tarnish that. But so, fellas, please, before you do anything, think.
And I'm just gonna say this. I'm one. I don't deal in allegations. I like to let all of the information come out, and then we move on from there. Whatever the verdict is, we live with it. But just as he said, you are not only are you a big athlete to this smaller woman, there's a part of society that still looks at the athlete, especially the professional athlete, as privileged. Mm-hmm. So even when you get off and you haven't done anything, and you find out the allegations weren't true or not, it's still a bad look. So be mindful, because I'm a firm believer. I'm just a firm believer. You guys, any one of my friends in my circle, you always had evidence that it could happen. You just didn't pay attention.
Yeah.
She did something early in the game that showed you. Now you decided to stay. That's on you. And this is what happened. So just be mindful and be careful about that. Now, for my last words, I'm going to go off sports a little bit. I'm just going to lay this out, give everybody a lesson on this. He's not a king of comedy, but he's the king of comedy. He is the Godfather to me. A lot of people may say Redd Foxx, but I never saw him in a roast, but I did see Richard Pryor. And a lot of people are speaking on the Kevin Hart situation and how he owes society an explanation for partaking in the roast and accepting a lot of the jokes that the roast had, especially the one pertaining to the George Floyd breathing joke. I'm not gonna get into that. What I'm gonna get into is this: go watch the Richard Pryor roast, because what I'm going to get into is, again, generationally, we are definitely more sensitive than we were back in the days. We most definitely built an exterior coming up, playing the dozens, playing the Yo Mama jokes. And the only time the Yo Mama jokes got personal is when, or it's to come to fighting, is when somebody told the truth about your mama.
Yeah.
But if you were good and you had the intellect and the wit to come back and combat someone on your same intellectual level, all of those jokes were just like, oh, you got me. And we move on. Now, back to Richard Pryor. When Richard Pryor got roasted, let me tell you, it was no holds bar. And they were saying some things back in the days that were wild. And I know they couldn't say it back then. But one thing I did notice from a technician that Richard Pryor was, while the people on the panel were roasting him, Richard Pryor was taking notes. You would see Richard Pryor with a piece of paper or a napkin, jotting down everything they said. Everybody on the panel, this is what you're saying about me. Then, when the roaster came back and had the finale, he hit them with an onslaught of jokes on them that diminished everything
they did.
They said. And he won his roast back. No one was coming back talking about the racial slurs and the sexual slurs. Even back then, the gay remarks, because they was going at Richard heavy. Came back, hit him with haymakers. So that's my thing. And I'm not downing Kevin for anything he said. It's not my place to do that. What I am downing is we've just created a generation of people who are silly and funny, but they're not comedic. Right. A comedian is a technician. A comedian is going to take them notes. And all I'm saying is, if Kevin would have came back, if he would have been the technician that we're used to, and he would have came back with an onslaught of puns and wit to diminish what the guy said, we will be speaking more on his jokes than we are on the jokes that were said.
Right.
So that's all I'm saying. You got to learn how to roast, not bake. Now, this has been the No Jazz Show, NOJASS. Did I cook?
Yeah, you cook. You baked.
This has been the No Jazz Show. Thank you all for joining us live. And again, we are on usually Tuesday nights after football. It's a football show. I ain't gonna lie. But we're usually on Tuesday nights, after football, critiquing all those games and all those sports that we usually do at 10 to 10:15 every Tuesday night. Please make sure you join us. Make sure you go to YouTube. That's where we love for you to go. Go to YouTube and subscribe at No Jazz Show. But you still can find us on my page, DUPONTNIVEKZ, live on Tuesday nights. Find us live on RUSSELLTANKER, Russell Tanker's page on the links. Find us on the fan page at No Jazz Show. Find us on Instagram at the No Jazz Show. Find us on TikTok. Thank you all on TikTok. Y'all been putting it up. Love y'all. We got some new subscribers on YouTube too. Quickly growing, excuse me. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you all for coming out. I appreciate you all. Definitely on X, No Jazz Show. And I think then a lot of people have found us on Twitch, but I'm probably gonna get on Kick too. I just don't know how to work that. That's a useful thing, you know. But hey, it is what it is. But this has been the No Jazz Show. Tank, I want you to do what you do every time we end this thing.
One quick thing.
One quick thing.
When he says 10 to 10:15, he means we start between 10 and 10:15. Not that the show runs from 10 to 10:15. Yeah, but we will see you all next week.
Absolutely. Holla.